Okay, hi, 5th and 6th graders and your parents maybe. This would be a great lesson for them. Anyway, so this is the front of the box, This is 1 point perspective where you have one vanishing point. I did go over this in 1 point perspective, but this is just a quick little review. If you haven't done that, I highly recommend you do that because I will reference that information a lot in technical drawing. This is the bottom of the box, the side, the front. Your eye level is equal to your vanishing point. So wherever your vanishing point, it's also your eye level, how you're seeing it. So your eye is under the box and to the left. Your eye is above the box and to the left. Okay? In 2-point perspective, your eye level is still the same, but you have two vanishing points in 2-point perspective. In 1-point perspective, you start with the front of the box. In 2-point perspective, you start with the corner of the box. This one, we can see the roof of the building. I was saying this is kind of like Costco. Okay? Now, let's keep going. This is where we're headed. We're going to start building some boxes. So 2 vanishing points. We start with the boxes and connect the boxes and then randomly put some more in. Okay? So, right vanishing point, left vanishing point. You can see how when you have a big vanishing point, it's kind of hard to tell where you're going to go. So just a little dot is perfect, so all your lines will go to the little dot. We also want to line everything up with the center. So let's get started. You need a clean piece of paper, a ruler, and an eraser. If you don't have those, be sure to stop and go get that. Okay, you definitely need a ruler. So your ruler should be horizontal on your paper, parallel to the top of the page and the bottom of the page. And you kind of want to estimate where the middle is and put a very, very light line here. Very light line, okay? I have to put mine in a little darker. Also, put a very light line where you think the middle is. And you don't have to be exact here, but you do want to look here to here and here to here to make sure you're parallel. It's like a plus sign in the middle of your page, okay? Then you want to take your pencil and put a teeny tiny vanishing point on the right and a teeny tiny vanishing point on the left. You're the only one that has to see it. Then on your vertical line, a little bit up from the bottom, I want you to make a line approximately 1 inch to 1.5 inches tall and make one at the top. You don't need to measure anything in this lesson, but you are going to estimate. Okay, so that is the corner of my box there. I also want to put a box right in the middle about 2 inches tall. So 1 inch below and 1 inch above. This will just really help us with seeing the illusion. These are the corners of my 3 boxes. Then I'm going to take my ruler and go from vanishing point to the top of the box, and this is where you want to draw light. Okay, vanishing point to the bottom of the box. Make sure you move your ruler every single time. Don't estimate. This is a technical drawing. You want to be precise. If you were an architect and you were designing a building, you couldn't make the walls, well, they're approximately that, give or take 4 inches, or everything doesn't work. Building a house is kind of like a puzzle, and if you don't have your drawings perfect, the builder can't build from them. So I'm just want you to practice for this lesson. This is not creative drawing as much as technical. This would be great if you wanted to be an automotive designer, which is a lesson I'll be teaching later on this week, and in 3D. And so if you know this information, you're going to be just fine. If you don't, you're going to be lost. So I am going to tell everybody in that video, go back and look at this one before you take it. So you're ahead if you're taking this before I posted the second video on drawing cars. So now you can see that I've got all these new lines in here. Now, if you got it right, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then your horizon line. So it should have been 6. Your horizon line is not needed anymore. It was to line you up with the center of your page. Okay, you don't need it anymore, so you don't need to put it in. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your ruler, and it can be any kind of ruler. It doesn't really matter. And you're going to guess where the center is. If you're a little off, it won't matter. But you're going to guess where the center is. I'm using a clear one, so it's easier for you guys to see. But if you're a little more this way or a little more that way, it's still going to be fine. You just need to make sure that it is vertical. Once it's vertical, then I want you to make the corners of the back of the box like this. And I'm pressing a little hard because I want to make sure you see it. But you don't need to press this hard, okay? I'm also kind of awkward. You remember you can turn your page, but for you to see this, I'm kind of awkward because I don't want to turn my page. I want you to be able to see this, okay? So, right side, left side, right side, left side, right side, left side. Horizon line is my eye level. Looking at the top, cannot see the top or the bottom, looking at the bottom, okay? Just because it's easier to erase this right now, I'm going to erase it a little bit, and I'm going to erase it a little bit right there, okay? It's easier to erase it now. Then what I want you to do is I want you to go to opposite vanishing points. So, vanishing point, line it up with the corner, like this. Draw lightly, remember, vanishing point to corner, and that is the bottom. Now, everybody always wants to line up with this line. The only way you will line up with that is if you were absolutely perfect in your distance from here to here and here to here. So don't try to, because it's not necessary at all. Mine is not lining up. I didn't do it exactly in the middle. So it's not supposed to line up. That's only if both sides are exactly the same. And for this lesson, that is not important. We're not doing any measuring. We're estimating. Okay? Now, we can't see the top or bottom of this box. This box is done. This one we can see underneath, and this one we can see on top. So in this lesson, these lines here all become construction lines, meaning that all they were for was to help us draw it. That's all they were. Now we don't need them anymore. So it's a ton of erasing. As you get better at this, when you use your vanishing point, you really don't have to go all the way back to it to draw your lines. In fact, when we make the next couple boxes, I won't have you do that. And this would be a great spot for you to pause and catch up, because you want to make sure you have these 3 boxes before we go on. Don't erase the line down the middle yet, okay? I'm just getting it. Wow, it's a lot of erasing, isn't it? That's why I'll show you. I don't always draw the line as long as it is, because I know I'm not going to make my box that long, so I don't really need it. Okay, so there we go. Just to make sure you can see these really well, I'm going to just darken their edges. So this is my lower box. Very cool. Okay, and this is my middle box. And this is my box above my eyes, or my upper box. So now I've got 3. Now, one of the things that I did in that other drawing that I showed you at the beginning was I connected them with a tube. We're going to wait on that, okay? We're just going to randomly put in a couple more boxes. So I'm just, remember that we start with the corner, so I'll just randomly put one here, and then randomly put one over here, okay? Make sure you're below the horizon line and you're above the horizon line. Then you want to take your ruler, and the same rules apply. This is crazy. Anywhere you put this in, you can do it. So you go towards your vanishing point. Let's not go the whole way, okay? Let's just draw it part way to our vanishing point so we have less erasing to do. Not like we did before, okay? That's my little trick. I don't draw the whole line because then it just makes me erase a lot. Unless I know it's going to be a lot different, or if I'm going to make a huge box or something like that. Okay, and then here's another one over here. And vanishing point to the top corner, vanishing point to the bottom corner, vanishing point to the top corner, vanishing point to the bottom corner. Now this book's kind of interesting looking. You're not going to see much of the bottom or the top. And the reason is you're very close to your eye level. So I'm going to go ahead and make this box wide on one side and narrow on the other. Okay, I'm going to make this one, I'll make it deeper. I'll make it parallel with the side of the page. Okay, parallel with the side of the page. Kind of look at the side of the page. Keep those sides vertical. Then this is a construction line. It can get erased. So can that one. Now I'm looking at this box here. It's a little crooked. Do you see it? Just a little bit off, but it can bug your eye. Just a little bit off my perspective, just slightly. There we go. And actually it was probably that one that was a little more off. There we go. That's the problem. Okay, and then now opposite vanishing points. So if you were holding a box and you held it up in front of your eyes, the closer it gets to your eye level, the less you can see three sides. You see this box. So what's happening is this box is lifting up, lifting up, lifting up, and you see less of it. And the same thing here. It's getting closer to the middle, so you see less. So people always think this is weird because you can only see a sliver. That's because it's closer to your eye level. The closer it is to your eye level, the less you can see. At your eye level, like this one, you cannot see the top or the bottom. So you can tell here that I could make these boxes anywhere in the whole page. I could make them taller, I could make them shorter. You would start with the corner, okay? Make sure you start with the corner. Now, for this lesson, I would like you to put a little box on top of this box. Well, that's why you have this line. It helps you line it up. So don't try to match with that corner. It may not match. Match with the line we drew at the beginning. And I'm going to come in a little bit and I'm going to draw the corner of a new box. So there's the corner of my new box. Same rules. It's going to go to the right. And it's going to go to the left. It's going to go from the top to the left. And it's going to go to the right from the top. So there's my little box. Parallel, 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 parallel. Now, here's the problem. You can't usually see through a box unless it is made out of glass or plexiglass. You can't see it. So it's a little confusing. I'm just going to shade this side a little bit. Shade this side a little bit so you can really see my box as well. See how that helps you see it? So if I'm shading the right side on all my boxes, the light is coming to this side, or it's coming from the back. You know it's not coming from the right because this side of my box is shaded. So you can tell with your boxes where the light's coming from by the way that you shade them, okay? So if my light was coming from the top, you need to think about what would be the lightest area. If the light's coming from the tops would be the lightest. Well, that one you would only see this top, and we haven't put that top on. Remember, to get the lid on, you go to opposite vanishing points. Make sure you hit the corner and go to opposite vanishing points. And there's the top. So that would be lightest if the light was coming up above. So this would be one shade. If it was coming from this direction, then this might be lightly shaded. If it was coming from that direction, this would be darker than that side. So I just shade it both ways. So light, some light, pretty much no light. It's on the opposite side of the light. So you as the artist get to make those kind of decisions, but it's just something you should be aware of. I'm not going to shade all these boxes right this minute, but I wanted you to see that they look even more 3D if you do stuff like that. So kind of fun. I want you to play with this, draw yourself some more boxes, make sure you can make them on your own, and think about shading them with a light, a medium, and a dark in different directions, and be consistent. So this is medium. This would be dark, 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 dark. This would be super dark because the light's above it. So that would be, underneath here would be almost black, because it's not going to get any light if the light's up above it. It's going to be the darkest, darkest, darkest side. Okay? Kind of fun when you start shading things and see how they look. Putting them in, shading them in different directions. Now, if you haven't noticed it, I'm using a ebony pencil. It's by Prismacolor. And you can actually get these at Michael's. You get them usually in a 2-pack. But they're great because they're very soft, dark lead. And I highly recommend you purchase one if you have any desire to get good at art, because you're going to need to make things darker and lighter. And the school pencil just only goes so dark. Now, do you need them for everything I'm teaching you? No. Do you want to make your drawings better? You would need it. Okay. So at school, I give these to the students, or you guys, if it's you, if you're in my class. But if you don't go to Los Ranchos, or you aren't there because of COVID and we can't meet together, it would be a good thing to have. Especially, it just makes you a better artist when you have good tools. So a school pencil and this ebony pencil is recommended. If you cannot find it, you can order a 6B pencil. That would be great. Now, graphite. Bleh. Graphite pencils come in lots of darknesses and you can buy them in H's and B's and different things. And just so you know, really you don't need all of them. You just need the 6B and a school pencil for most things. Unless you become a professional, you really don't need them. I don't use any others, and I draw a lot of things. So it's not that necessary. But you do need the soft one that I'm using right now. And the reason that you need it is because when you're coloring and you're making things, you just can't get them shaded well enough. So the trick here is looking at the values of all of them. Okay, so this looks like this one, and I don't want it to. So what do I got to do? I got to darken this one. So this is darker. So I have light, medium, dark, and super light, right? Okay, you guys kind of follow this along? Okay, so this is really fun. So quickly, if you wanted to put another box in here, you would know how to do it. If you wanted to stack a box up here, look how you would do it. You would go to your left vanishing point, your right vanishing point, vertical, vertical. Check out this box. That's kind of cool. What if you wanted to put a cylinder and connect your boxes? Very cool. Add your cylinder in. I'm just going to blacken these cylinders like they're made out of black because I've got so many lines in them I don't want to erase. Isn't that cool? You can just add yourself a cylinder anywhere you want. Well, what if you want this one to attach to this one? You just put in a curve. Come on over here. Cylinders are so fun. You can do such great things with them. Okay, well, this is just your first little intro to the 2-point perspective, and I hope you'll work on it and really practice drawing some boxes, kind of like we did in 1-point perspective when we just drew boxes. The next lesson we will be designing a car, and we're going to start with 2 boxes, and we're going to be drawing it in perspective, which means drawing it 3D, which is a lot cooler than just a profile view of a car. There is a 1st through 3rd grade lesson where I did a truck, and it is just a profile. This one that we'll be doing is a angled view where you'll see side of the car and you'll see some of the front of the car, which is the way a car dealer would want to do it. They would want you to see 2 sides of the car. Okay, so have a good day and talk to you guys later.